Welcome back students to online teaching and learning at Sheikh Vidya Mandir English High School and Junior College. Students, in our today's video we shall see the remaining part of the lesson The Last Leaf by O. Henry, Standard 8, Lesson 3.3. We also discussed a few characters. The characters we spoke were Sue, Johnsy the best friends, Mr. Berman, who was the ground floor neighbor, and the doctor who kept an eye on the pneumonia which Johnsy was suffering for. So in the earlier part of the video, we saw how Johnsy has got a fantasy or thinking that when the last leaf falls, she would die. Though it was not the reason of the last leaf falling and she dying, it was the season of autumn where the leaves used to shed the trees, and the trees was used to get bare. There was nothing as such where the last leaf would fall and she would die. So let's see what happened next. Johnsy saw the last leaf. Even after the rain and the fierce wind, the gushy winds that blew throughout the night, there yet stood against the brick wall one ivy leaf. It was the last one on the vine, still dark green near its stem, but with its edges tinted with yellow, it hung bravely from a branch some 20 feet above the ground. It was the last one, said Johnsy. I thought it would surely fall during the night. I heard the wind. It will fall today, and I shall die at the same time. Johnsy was preparing herself for the last journey that one makes alone. The journey that one makes alone is a phrase which means to die or to move for the heavenly abode. Now, Johnsy was so much into that fantasy that she felt that the last leaf is today surely going to die. It was 20 feet high tall, and she thought if the last leaf falls, she might die any time soon. The feeling was very strong within her. The ties of Sue's friendship and other things on earth became loose one by one. The ties and the friendship what she had with Sue, staying for a long time with her. The day wore away, but even though the day wore is that the entire day was about to finish, and in the twilight is time after sunset, but before it's dark. That's called as the twilight. They could see the lone ivy leaf clinging on to its stem against the wall. At night again the wind ragged and the rain poured. Next day, when it was light enough, Johnsy asked Sue to open the window. The ivy was still there. Like in the image you can see over here. Johnsy waited the entire night. It was raining too heavily. The windows were closed. Still the ivy leaf had not fallen, but Johnsy later next day morning she asked to open the windows, and she found that the last leaf was still hanging on that tree. What happened then? Johnsy accused herself. When she saw the last ivy leaf had not fallen, she started accusing herself. Accusing is blaming or feeling like she is to be blamed. She called Sue. She admitted before her that she had been a bad girl. She declared herself that the last leaf had not fallen. It means she was not a good girl, she was a bad girl. She told Sue that she was very wicked, very cruel person. The last leaf had shown her that. Now she felt that it was a sin to want to die. After that she felt like she is about to the sin what she was making to die was actually wrong. The last leaf didn't want her to die, and that she thought that she was making a biggest sin in the world by dying, which the nature or the luck or the fortune did not want to do. That was the thing she realized when the last leaf she saw had still not fallen. Can you notice the change, students? It's just a mind game. The last leaf she was about to fall, the leaves were falling. So when the person is sick, the fever or the cold or the sickness what is there, sometimes it reaches your mind, and your mind comes up with all the negative thoughts. And that was the case with Johnsy. It was not like her thinking, but it made her think all the negative thoughts. And when a person is in a negative thought, he surely thinks of something which is not good for his health or which will not benefit him anymore. So when the last leaf had not fallen, Johnsy became very sure that it was a wrong decision what she had taken. So after that she was ready to take some broth and milk that Sue brought for her. She wanted to sit up in the bed. Now as the last leaf did not fall, she felt much better and she started taking up food. She asked for broth as well as milk. and she wanted to sit up and feel the nature. Like other days, she wasn't like that, she was very lazy. What happened then? Sue told Johnsy of Berman. Next morning, after the morning the leaf had not fallen, the next morning, Sue told Johnsy about Berman, living downstairs, was now ill with pneumonia. Now Sue was almost, now Johnsy was almost recovered, and then Johnsy came to know about that the Berman was also suffering with pneumonia. The sweeper had found him lying himself helpless in his room in a very wet clothes and shoes. He also found some scattered brushes and a palette with green and yellow colors mixed with it. 2 days later, Mr. Berman died in a hospital. The last ivy leaf was still there on the wall. It never fluttered or moved when the wind blew. It was Berman's masterpiece. He had painted it there that night when the last leaf had fallen. Now Johnsy told him the truth. Now Johnsy told her the truth that it was Berman now who was suffering from pneumonia. But how was he suffering from pneumonia? That she explained. And when she explained, Johnsy came to know that Berman has painted a masterpiece on the wall outside her window. It was a 20 feet height, and when he was painting, it was very badly raining. The colors used over there were the green and the yellow color, and the last ivy leaf was literally painted. That is why the color did not go and the leaf did not faint away. It was a masterpiece which Berman had made, and due to which too much of cold he got into pneumonia and was suffering for 2 days in the hospital and finally died after 2 days suffering from pneumonia. Moving ahead, here are a certain meanings, as in when you read the text, it will be clear to you. With the difficult words, you can understand the meanings much better. So, finally, let us understand the theme of the lesson, the last leaf. The main theme of the lesson is selflessness and sacrifice. When Bowman finds out that Johnsy is convinced that she will die once the last leaf falls, Bowman selflessly gets out in the rain and snow in the middle of the night to paint an ivy leaf on the brick wall. This shows his self sacrificing, kind, and noble nature. Due to her illness, Johnsy leads her life with negative thoughts. The doctor in this lesson is a very positive person. The doctor conveys the message that never let go for hope and always have a positive approach in life. It is our state of mind which can bring worse or better for us in our lives. The last leaf shows the theme of friendship. Friendship is a relationship that is completed with the ties of sacrifice, sincerity, love, and loyalty, which is perfectly seen by the characters of Sue and Chauncey. So, now what symbolism do we see? There are certain symbols which give us a message. They are the falling leaves, which shows us discouragement, the last leaf, which gives us hope. The last leaf was the reason why Chauncey felt the will to live. Also, Mr. Berman we understand as a true friend or a family person, whereas one more dream what Johnsy had always was to paint the Bay of Naples. Bay of Naples is a picturesque which was very famous in Italy, and it was a dream for her to paint that picturesque. And lastly, let us understand what moral values it gives to us. The spirit of sacrifice we need to have in our lives. It also talks about true friendship, which leads in the long run. Always have a positive approach in life. One should never give up and always keep hopes. One must believe in oneself and always have a positive attitude. Also, remember one thing, that is, a friend in need is a friend in deed. We can also understand the sacrifice one's life for others. Also, we learn is to be committed. Being committed is also very essential, where you are committed to do something and you get it done. So, students, at any point of time, if you feel helpless, these are the ways to foster positive thinking, which are to recall positive life events. You can always recall the good events, what happened in your life. You can also perform acts of kindness. You can also express your gratitude by telling your loved ones about what you feel for them. Also, you can practice mindfulness and relax yourself in the nature. Time for some assessment. Read the story and choose the correct appropriate meanings. A few meanings are also done in your lesson which you can refer and fill in the blanks with these words with the help of the options. Make pairs of sentences which show difference in meaning, that's homographs, which means one word with two different meanings. You're supposed to use the words given and make two different sentences with two different meanings. State the facts about the story. Now, here are certain points given to you which you can refer the story and make a complete answer. Like if we talk about the main characters, the characters used in the story were John C., Sue, Mr. Berman, and the doctor. What was their problem? Attempts made to solve it, climax, and the problem solved, and what happened in the end. These all you can refer the text. When you read the text, you can answer these questions carefully. Say whether the following statements are right or wrong. You have to read the text for this and write the correct word, write the word right for the correct answer or the statement which is mentioned in the text. Correct the following statements. Now here are certain sentences where the sentence has got a different word, which a wrong word maybe, which you need to correct and rewrite them again. Read the descriptions of the following from the story and describe any one of them using your own words. Now, three things are being given to you as options. You can just take up any one question and describe it in your own words. Here are certain questions of a group of clauses with a subject and a verb and the larger sentence. You have to divide the sentence in two parts with the main clause or principal clause and the subordinate clause. Lastly, choose an imaginary dialogue between Sue and John C. when they realize about what Berman had done for John C. Here you can also have a dialogue between Sue and John C. and realize about the Berman's duty what they had done for John C. The sacrifice what Mr. Berman had done for John C. can be written in the form of dialogue using the words or the dialogues between Sue and John C. Hope the lesson gave you all a wonderful message. Thank you.